Today we're going to go over the parts of the scroll saw. The scroll saw has several different parts that work together to operate the scroll saw and make a perfect cut. The first part, this part right here, is called the overarm. The overarm separates the motor mechanism from the actual cutting mechanism. The second part that we are going to go over is the blade tension lever. When I pull the blade tension lever or release the blade tension lever, the tension on the blade becomes very whimsy or flimsy. When I tighten the blade tension lever, the blade is very taut. We want to operate the scroll saw only when the blade is taut. The next thing I want to go over is what's called the hold down fingers. The hold down fingers adjust so that they pin your project flat to the table. You always want to make sure that you have your hold down fingers adjusted tightly to your project so that it pins your stock to the table. The next piece is the blower. This part right here. The blower works so that it cleans the cut line so that you're able to see it. It pushes air through this tube so that it's able to push on the project and on the stock so that it cleans the cut line as you cut it and operate the machine. The next part is the actual blade itself. The blade itself is right here. You want to make sure that the teeth are pointed down always and that the blade is taut so that the blade tension lever is adjusted correctly before you operate the machine. The next piece is the table insert. The table insert can be removed from the table to allow access to the lower chuck. You always want to make sure that the table insert is inside the table before operating the machine. The next part is the table itself. The table itself should be open, should be clean, and it should be clear of all foreign objects and only have the part or the stock that you are cutting. The next is the on-off switch. The on-off switch can be found below the table on the scroll saw. When I turn on, the machine turns on. When I turn off, the machine will come to a complete stop. I always want to make sure that the machine comes to a complete stop before I leave the scroll saw. The last part that we're going to go over is the variable speed adjustment. This adjusts the speed on the scroll saw. So, if I have the machine running, I'm able to increase the speed of my cut or decrease the speed of my cut depending on the size of the stock.